Hello friends, my name is Tawfiq and you're watching my channel Graphics Den. So in this video we are going to see how to change black color into any color. Even we can change black color into white color. So let's begin. First of all, we need to select the object. In this case, I'm going to change this shirt's color. So I have already made a selection. So I'll simply load the selection by going into select, load selection and t-shirt. So this is our selection. You can make selection using any selection tool that you prefer. But remember, the image that you are using, it has to be high quality image and it needs to have details, so that because we are simply changing the details in the color, so it needs to have good details and it needs to be a high quality image, otherwise this won't work properly. So I have already made a selection. So now I'm going to click on this particular icon, which is the group icon. So we have created a group. If you want, you can change the group name. So I'll name it, let's say, color. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a layer mask to the group itself, so that the background doesn't get affected, only the color that we are going to create that gets affected. So now I'm going to create the solid color adjustment layer from here, and if you are not able to see the layers panel, you can simply go to window and layers, you can turn it on, layers panel. Now I'm going to the adjustment layer and I'm going to create solid color. You can choose any color, it doesn't really matter. Now change the color mode to color. So this is how it will look, but as you can see, the color over here is slightly brighter than this color, so we have to use the levels adjustment. So before we move any further, I'll briefly explain how the levels work. Now this point over here, this controls the dark areas in the image. So this is basically the shadow option. This controls dark areas, that is shadows. So this option, this point over here on the slider, this controls the bright areas, which is highlights like this. And the middle point, it controls the contrast in the image, which we can also call it as the midpoint. And these two points down here, this is the darkest point, this controls the darkest points, and this point over here controls the brightest point in the image. So if I move this particular slider or the point, now this has become this particular shade of gray. This is the darkest area or the darkest point of this particular image. So nothing can be darker than this particular shade of black. So I'll move it back to its original position. Now if I change this particular point, which represents the brightest point, so if I move it over here, so this is the brightest point, so nothing will be brighter than this particular shade of white. So this is the brightest point. So I hope you understand that this is the darkest point, this point represents darkest points and this represents brightest point. Now using these levels, we can change the color. So I'll make it slightly brighter like this. I can control the contrast. So this is looking much closer to this particular shade. Now if we use lighter colors or bright colors, then we need to be very careful. For example, if I want to change the color, I can simply double click on this particular solid color layer and I'll choose this, let's say maybe yellowish color, maybe this lime color over here, which is very bright actually. So as you can see, this color over here in the solid color adjustment is very bright and this color over here is dark. So we can simply click on the levels panel and we can change it or make it brighter like this. As you can see, if we only move this particular point, then we will lose the details. So we have to be careful, we have to work around like this. So I think This looks pretty good to me. Like this, we are pretty much closer to the exact color, which is this one. Now what if I want to change it to white color? You can simply double click on the solid adjustment layer, and remember what we have to do is we have to keep the saturation at 0. Hue and brightness doesn't really matter, so this particular shade, the saturation is 0, we are good to go. So press OK. Now go to the levels again and slide it until you get the desired result. So this already is looking pretty good. I'll move the dark point slightly to the right. This is looking much better. So there we go. As simple as that. We have our, you can always play around with these pointers as long as you're not satisfied. Until you are satisfied, you can play with these pointers. So this is looking pretty good to me. So we have changed. I'll show you once again. This is the original image, which is black color shirt, and we have changed it to white color. Pretty easy, right? So do try this out and give it a go, and let me know in the comments box, comments section, how it goes. So that's it for this video. If you find this video useful, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, bye bye and cheers.